Have you ever had that bizarre experience where you wake up, start your day, only to realize you're still dreaming? It's a phenomenon known as a false awakening, and it can be one of the trippiest, most disorienting experiences your mind can cook up. It's like the movie Inception, but without Leonardo DiCaprio to explain the rules. You think you've escaped the dream world. You go through your morning routine, brushing your teeth, making coffee, checking your phone, and everything feels completely normal. But then something feels off. Maybe the text on your phone keeps changing, or you try to turn on a light switch and it just doesn't work. These little glitches in the matrix are often the first clue that you haven't actually woken up at all. So, what's actually happening in our brains during a false awakening? Well, it's a type of lucid dream, which means you're aware that you're dreaming ... or at least you're on the verge of that awareness. But instead of realizing you're in a dream and taking control, your brain plays a trick on you. It creates a hyper-realistic simulation of your own bedroom and your morning routine. It's so convincing because it's built from your own memories and expectations. Your brain is essentially running a waking up program, but it's still in sleep mode. This usually happens during REM sleep, the stage where most of our vivid dreaming occurs. Think of it as your brain being caught between two states, the dream state and the waking state. One of the most common triggers for a false awakening is anxiety about waking up on time. If you're really stressed about an important meeting or an early flight, your brain might preemptively run a simulation of you waking up, almost like a fire drill. You wake up, check the clock, and feel a sense of relief, until you realize it was all a dream and you have to do it all over again for real. This can lead to a frustrating loop. You dream, you wake up, you realize it's a dream. You force yourself to wake up again, only to find you're in another layer of the dream. It can feel like you're trapped. I've heard stories of people experiencing 3, 4, even 5 false awakenings in a row. Each time, the relief of waking up is snatched away, replaced by that sinking feeling of, oh no, not again. But here's where it gets interesting. While they can be unsettling, false awakenings can also be a gateway to full lucidity. The moment you spot that inconsistency, the weird clock, the faulty light switch, is your opportunity. That's your reality check. Once you recognize you're in a dream, you can take control. Instead of being a passive participant in a simulation of your boring morning, you can suddenly do anything you want. Fly out the window, conjure up your favorite food, or explore fantastical worlds. The key is to train yourself to spot the signs. A good technique is to perform reality checks throughout your actual day. Every so often, ask yourself, am I dreaming? And do something that would be impossible in a dream, like pushing your finger through the palm of your other hand. If you make this a habit when you're awake, you're more likely to do it when you're having a false awakening, and that's your ticket to lucid adventure. Let's talk about the different flavors of false awakenings. They generally fall into 2 categories. The first, and more common, is type 1. This is the mundane, realistic one we've been talking about. You wake up in your own bed, the room looks normal, you do normal things. It's boring, and its purpose seems to be to lull you into thinking everything is real. The only oddity is the dreamlike atmosphere that you can't quite put your finger on until you spot a clear sign. Then there's type 2. This one is much more surreal and often has a tense, suspenseful, or even frightening atmosphere. You might wake up, but the room is different. Maybe there's a strange presence, and you feel an immediate sense of unease. These can sometimes transition into nightmares. The environment feels alien and charged with a weird energy. It's less about the mundane routine and more about a feeling of displacement and anxiety. So, how can you tell the difference between a false awakening and real life? Look for the details. Dreams, even hyper-realistic ones, have trouble with fine print. Try reading a sentence on a book or your phone. Look away and then look back. In a dream, the text will almost always have changed or become gibberish. Mirrors are another classic tell. Your reflection might be distorted, blurry, or just plain weird. And as we mentioned, light switches and digital clocks are notoriously unreliable in the dream world. It's like the dream's processing power can't handle rendering these complex details consistently. Your own hands are a great tool to look at your hands. In a dream, you might find you have extra fingers, or they might look blurry and strange. These reality checks are your best defense against the confusion of a false awakening and your best tool for unlocking its potential. Interestingly, many people who experience false awakenings also report experiencing sleep paralysis. The two phenomena can sometimes be linked. You might have a false awakening where you feel like you can't move, or you might transition from sleep paralysis into a false awakening. Both involve a blurring of the lines between REM sleep and wakefulness. In sleep paralysis, your mind wakes up, but your body is still in REM atonia, the temporary muscle paralysis that keeps you from acting out your dreams. In a false awakening, your mind creates the asterisk sensation asterisk of waking up and moving, even though your body is still asleep. Both can be scary, but understanding the science behind them can take away a lot of the fear. It's not a monster holding you down. It's just your brain and body being slightly out of sync. If you find yourself stuck in a false awakening loop, what can you do? It can be really distressing to feel like you can't wake up. One technique is to try to go back to sleep within the dream. It sounds counterintuitive, but closing your eyes and relaxing in the dream world can sometimes be enough to disrupt the pattern and trigger a real awakening. Another method is to focus on your physical body. In the dream, try to wiggle your real toes or fingers. Concentrate all your mental energy on that one small physical movement. Sometimes that connection between your dream mind and your real body can be enough to pull you out of the dream state. And remember, as frustrating as it is, you will eventually wake up. No one has ever been permanently stuck in a dream. Ultimately, false awakenings are a powerful reminder of the incredible, mysterious nature of our own consciousness. They show us that our perception of reality is just a construction of the mind, and a surprisingly fragile one at that. While they can be confusing or even a little scary, they also offer a unique window into the hidden workings of our brains. They're a personal invitation to explore the vast, uncharted territories of your own inner world. So, the next time you wake up and something feels a little off, don't panic. Get curious. Ask yourself, am I dreaming? Look at your hands, check a light switch, and see what happens. You might just be on the verge of your greatest adventure yet. Thank you so much for exploring the strange world of false awakenings with me. If you've ever had one of these experiences, I would love to hear about it in the comments below. What was your glitch in the matrix that tipped you off? Don't forget to like this video if you found it interesting, and subscribe for more deep dives into the mysteries of the mind. Stay curious and sleep well.